This is when you think that you're going to be able to enjoy your life as a teenager. This is the face that you make. But really, you're going to have to raise more kids because your mom keeps having kids that she cannot raise. Listen, I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how much, resources. Nobody, no pair can take care of 12 kids the way that they're intended to. There's no way. I have 3 kids. They each feel like they're splitting me in half, and I have a husband. We make it work. We spend time with their homework, extracurricular activities. I am with them, and I give them the attention that they need. Kids are like plants, right? You have to water them, talk to them, feed them, nurture them. You just can't keep popping them out. And because they're taken care of aesthetically, you're a good parent. You have to invest in them emotionally as well. You have to save for their college. There's no way she's paying for college for all these kids. Like, statistically speaking, at least one of them is going to have big issues. That's how statistics work. I know. I'm part of a big family as well. I have 8 siblings, not including myself. So, also, I just don't understand how you think that your kids, because this creator right here, and I'm not gonna say her name, don't want to give her clout, but she's saying that her kids are so excited to have another sibling. These faces do not scream excited. Stop. Mothers like this, mothers like Miss Jenkins, and all of these 8-passenger moms who just keep having kids because you want to be TikTok famous.
I'm trying to enjoy my bagel, but I just saw a video of someone announcing they're having 12 kids to all their kids, right? And then the 4 oldest in the back are look like they just saw a vision from hell. Okay, they look like they're looking at each other oh hell no. Okay, and what's the point? What is the point in having 12 kids? Are you running a factory? What? I cannot understand why you would ever do that. There's no plausible way you can meet all their needs when you have 12. Sorry, not their emotional needs, not any of them. Dumb. But I just really can't understand the point. Do you want a football team? Do you want a soccer league of your own? I do not get it. I get it, you're into God. It's giving you want your own little church cult situation.
This TikTok mom really took the phrase, be fruitful and multiply, to heart. Her name is Karissa Collins, and she has 11 kids, with baby number 12 on the way. And the way she announced it, right in front of her 11 kids on camera. Like it was just another day. No heads up, no sensitivity. Just dropped the news mid-video like it was some fun surprise. But what made people's jaws drop wasn't the pregnancy announcement itself. It was the reactions her older kids, especially her teenage daughter. This wasn't excitement. This wasn't joy. This was devastation. And you could see it all over their faces. This kind of emotional reaction that hits you in the gut, and yet she smiled right through it. Let's get into why this is more than just a big family announcement, why these TikTok moms' choices are raising red flags, and why it might be time to stop hiding behind Bible verses and start taking accountability. Who is Karissa Collins? Karissa Collins has over 600,000 followers on TikTok. Her bio reads, Yahuwah's servant, Christ follower, wife, mother of 11, homeschooler. That's right. She not only has 11 kids, but she also homeschools. No teachers, no classroom breaks, just Karissa and 11 different children, all in different grades, and the kind of setup that makes you wonder, who's really raising who in this house? She started having kids at 25 and hasn't stopped since. She's now 40, which means she has been pregnant almost every year for 15 years straight. No breaks, no breathing room, just back-to-back pregnancies. One child turns 1 and another is already on the way. The parentification problem. Let's be real. Newborns are demanding. They take up every minute of your time. They cry. They feed around. They need to be held, changed, and constantly cared for. So while Karissa is busy nursing or rocking the new baby to sleep, someone has to step in and help out with everything else going on. Who is watching the toddlers when they start climbing furniture or fighting over toys? Who is making lunch for the 3-year-old when they are hungry and can't wait? Who is sitting down with a 7-year-old to help them read, write, or get through their schoolwork? Chances are it's not Karissa, it's the older kids, especially the teenage daughter. The same one who looked heartbroken in the baby number 12 reveal video. She's probably the one picking up the slack, rocking the toddler when he cries, helping with math problems, and maybe even changing. This is what's called parentification. It's when a child is pushed into the role of a parent, and it might not leave bruises, but it leaves emotional scars. It takes away childhood. It teaches kids to carry responsibility way too early. They become mini moms and mini dads in a system that depends on their silence, on their willingness to be mature before they are ready. And what's worse, no one praises them for it. No one asks them how they feel. It just becomes expected, normal, a quiet routine that keeps repeating itself.
You will never convince me that having 12 kids is not neglectful. The fact that every single one of your 11 kids reacted the same way to you announcing that you're pregnant with yet another one, especially the oldest. Because you know why? I'll tell you why. She's the one watching all of them. There's no way in hell you're meeting the emotional needs of all 11 children that you already have, and you have another one on the way. Newborns require a lot of attention, right? Like you're feeding them every couple hours, depending on their sleep, whether you have to hold them. And you have babies and toddlers and children and preteens. These children are upset because you already neglect their emotional needs with the amount of children you already have, and you're bringing yet another one into it. Parentification is abuse. I don't care. That is a hill I will climb and die on. This is a breeding kink. You don't want kids, you want babies. Whatever it may be, it's problematic. Your children will grow up to resent you.
And yet, even with all this, Karissa keeps going. She keeps adding more kids into the mix, even when the ones she already has are already clearly overwhelmed, especially the ones being forced to grow up too soon, hiding behind faith. Every time someone questions her, Karissa has the same answer. We are having as many children as the Lord wants us to give. That's her line. That's her shield. But let's call it what it is, an excuse. It's like someone driving on the wrong side of the road saying, I'll go wherever the Lord leads me. That's not trust. That's denial. At what point does personal responsibility kick in? At what point do you stop using God's name to justify choices that might be hurting the very people you're supposed to protect? Your children? She keeps saying this is God's will, that He's the one giving them these kids.
I'm a Christian, but what I want to say about this is one of the reasons why Christians need to have a personal relationship with Jesus that should lead them in the decisions they make, instead of just having a relationship with the Bible. When you just have a relationship with the Bible, you are missing out on having a relationship with God's Spirit that can give you wisdom, discernment, and knowledge on how to make better decisions in life. Now, I want to give a disclaimer that I do not completely think that big families are bad. There are parents out there that, for whatever reason, they have the grace to have a lot of kids, and they seem to do okay. I know a couple big families, and somehow they're okay. But I would say this is an exception, not the norm. It concerns me when these families think the Bible is telling them to have a bunch of kids. That's just not wise, and that's not how life works most of the time, and that's not how most people are wired. I also want to say that I am passionately against family vlogging, especially with Christians, because you're just a hypocrite. And I have a low opinion of you if you put your children in videos, okay? Jesus wants us to speak on behalf of children and advocate for the innocent. And putting children in your videos is the polar opposite of that. I believe you are not doing what Jesus wants you to do, okay? Let children have their privacy. There are so many children that are now adults that were children of family vloggers who are talking about how awful their life was and how they didn't want to be filmed and how they had to be filmed anyways.
But then there is the book she wrote, titled, Should We Stop? Which makes it clear that she's aware this lifestyle isn't normal. And that title, it's not a question for God. It's a question for the public, for her followers, for attention. On top of that, she posts videos, well-edited, eye-catching videos of her family's life with every new pregnancy, birth, and chaos-filled moment neatly packaged for social media. So which is it really? Is this truly about faith, or is it about fame? Is she following God's calling, or just chasing the algorithm? The video that went viral was her big reveal for baby number 12. She tricked her kids by saying they were filming a music video. Then mid-performance, she announced she was the mother of 12. At first, the kids didn't get it. She had to repeat it. And even then, it didn't land. Until one of the middle kids finally said it out loud. She's pregnant, and the mood immediately changed. The older kids looked crushed. One daughter ran off camera. Another threw a ball on the floor in frustration. One son's jaw dropped and didn't come back up. They weren't smiling. They weren't cheering. They were stunned, hurt, silent. Karissa tried to cover it up with a caption. I promise my cool teenagers are excited. This is just how they show emotion. But the footage said otherwise. These kids weren't excited. They were exhausted. The toll on the oldest. One reaction stood out most. Her teenage daughter. Her face said everything. It wasn't just shock. It was pain, disappointment, and probably exhaustion. She looked straight at the camera, her eyes saying way more than her mouth ever could. You could tell she was holding something in, like she was forcing herself to stay calm just because she knew the camera was rolling. The kind of expression that breaks your heart because you know she wanted to scream, to cry, maybe even run away, but she didn't. Then she walked away, quietly, no words. And when she came back, she tossed a bowl hard on the floor. This wasn't a happy gesture. This wasn't celebration. That was frustration. That was sadness being put with no safe way to let it out. That was a cry for help without using words. She's only 17, but carries herself like someone twice her age. She looks more like a second mom than a daughter. Her reactions weren't loud or dramatic. They were the kind that make you feel something in your chest, like a silent scream, a quiet storm that's been building for years. You can almost hear what she must have been thinking. Seriously? Another baby? Another sibling I am going to be responsible for? When is it enough?
Children, can you hear me? I said 12 children. You said 12 children. You guys, yay! Mommy's pregnant! Yay! You're pregnant! Mom, I knew it! Mom, you're pregnant! No, Mom, you're not. Wait, no! I don't know what I'm going to right now. I'm pregnant. She's pregnant! No way! You're pregnant! Yes, I need to do it now. I saw your stomach on the Mom, I need to see it! I just told you. You don't look like you're pregnant. You said you're on a period! I thought I was. I'm not joking. I thought I was.
The word of the day is parentification. That's when children, usually girls, are expected to take on adult responsibilities before they're ready, like way before they're ready. So they're changing diapers, they're doing homework with the kids, the younger ones, they're cooking meals, they are cleaning the house. And let's be real, they're also probably helping raise every sibling that's born after them. And in families like this, really large, religious, like homeschooled centered families, parentification is bound to happen. And they'll tell these kids and they'll tell other parents that this is going to help build character or teach discipline. But what it really does is it robs the older kids of their childhood. And you can tell by the expression on the older kids' faces, especially the oldest girls, no matter what the mom was trying to say, that wasn't joy, that wasn't excitement, they were pissed. And a lot of the internet is going to see that video and still say, oh my gosh, you're such a wholesome family. Wholesome for who? Let your kids be kids, not co-parents, not second moms, just kids. So yeah, congrats on baby number 12 or whatever. But if your big kids look like they need a vacation every time you announce another pregnancy, that is not God's blessing. That's a fucking red flag.
Why does Karissa keep doing this? There was a time when having 12 kids made sense, decades ago, when child mortality was high and families needed many hands to work on farms or carry on the family name. Back then, having lots of children wasn't a choice. It was survival. But today, in 2025, the world is different. There is access to birth control. There is education. There is mental health awareness. There is support for making informed choices. So what's really going on here? Some people say Karissa is addicted to pregnancy. That maybe the feeling of being needed, the attention that comes with a baby bump, the excitement of a new life has become something she can't let go. Others believe she just genuinely loves babies. But here's a question no one can ignore. What about the older kids? What about the teens who are quietly watching this cycle repeat year after year? Because here's the thing, babies grow up. They cry less, but they need more. They start asking questions, form identity, have struggles that don't just need hugs, but time, presence, and emotional support. And do they still get that attention? Or is mom too busy with another newborn? Some mothers become deeply emotionally attached to the baby. That phase gives them the sense of fulfillment. But when kids start becoming their own people, when they get attitudes, make mistakes, or push boundaries, some moms pull away. They shut down. And to avoid facing those challenges, they go back to what feels easy and rewarding, having another baby. And that's how the cycle continues. A new baby comes in and the growing child fades out again and again until one day that child no longer reaches for their mom because they've learned she's already busy with someone smaller.
Can we talk about the Collins kids for a second? I know we all seen the video of them announcing their 13th baby. It's really the look on the oldest daughter and the oldest son's face that tells me this isn't something that they want to happen. And my thing is, I'm all for big families, but when is enough kids are fucking enough? When the fuck is it enough? I'm burnt out with 1 kid. 13 children? At this point, it's past a kink. It's an obsession to keep having fucking kids. But let her be a black woman, no matter if she was married or not, she would still be getting ridiculed and dragged in the mud. But black men that date like that praise white women like that, but won't praise the black women of their community.
The truth about love and time. You hear parents say, love multiplies. And sure, love can grow. You can love many people. But what about time? Time isn't like love. Time doesn't multiply. It shrinks. It stretches thin. And when you have 12 kids, all needing you at once, your time doesn't just stretch, it tears. How do you sit down and listen to each kid talk about their day? How do you find space to comfort one who is crying, help another with schoolwork, and still show up emotionally when the teenager needs a heart-to-heart? It's almost impossible to do it all because someone always gets left out. Someone always gets told, not now. It's not because she doesn't love them. It's because she's human. No one, no matter how loving or devoted, has the time, energy, or emotional bandwidth to be fully present for 12 children every single day. Even with money or food, clothes and shelter, kids need more than stuff. They need presence. They need to feel heard, seen, valued, not just fed and clothed. And the sad truth, it's usually the quiet ones who get overlooked, the ones who don't throw tantrums, the ones who don't demand, the older kids who already feel like they're supposed to be strong, the middle kids who slip through the cracks, and the toddlers who misbehave not to be difficult, but because it's the only way they get noticed in the crowd. That's the real cost of having more than you can truly handle. And it's a heavy one. Family or a big burden. No one's against big families, but there is a difference between nurturing a large family with care and turning your children into some kind of internet brand. There is a difference between loving your kids and collecting them like trophies to show off online. These kids aren't just homeschooled. They are constantly on camera. Their clothes often match like uniforms. There are moments where they're happy, sad, or chaotic are turned into TikToks and Reels. And let's be honest, it's starting to give off serious family vlogger energy. The kind we have seen go very wrong. Like with 8 Passengers and other influencers whose content crossed the line. Where is the boundary? When does sharing your life become exploiting your children's privacy? When does a family moment stop being about bonding and start being about views, likes, and clicks? These are questions people need to ask, because once a child's life becomes a storyline, it's no longer just family, it's content. Final thoughts. At the end of the day, it's not about judgment, it's about accountability. Karissa has the right to live her life, but when that life affects 11 and soon to be 12 other lives, we need to ask questions. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And just because you believe something doesn't mean it can't be harmful in practice. Her kids aren't TikTok props. They are human beings. And right now, they are telling us without words that they are not okay. Let's listen. What do you think? Is this blind faith, a social media strategy, an addiction to the sport, or just a desire for more babies at any cost? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this, because someone needs to speak up for these kids when the parents won't.